Hi everyone, my name's Kaylee and today I'm going to teach you how to use a glucose meter. So if you want to skip straight to the steps and straight to what you'll need, I'll put the timestamps below. But for those of you that this is your first time using a glucose meter and you need just a minute before you prick yourself for the first time, I'm here to hang out with you and ease any concerns you may have. So let's take a deep breath together. I know this can be overwhelming, and likely you are taking your sugar today because you've either been diagnosed with some form of diabetes, pre-diabetes, or you're just trying to take control of your health, and all of that can be very intimidating and scary. So I fully understand the overwhelm. There's a lot of parts and pieces, especially the first few times that you're taking your sugar. So I'm here to walk you through it step by step. First, we're gonna start with everything you'll need to take your sugar for the first time. So first, you're going to need a glucose meter. Your doctor will usually prescribe one of these, but you can pick them up at the pharmacy. The one I'm gonna be using today is the Contour Next EZ. So I got this at CVS, nice and easy to pick up. Now, the piece that's most important that you're going to need is the test strips. These are usually only available via prescription, but I will be using these today. Additionally, you will need an alcohol pad, you'll need a Lancet, and you'll need a prick pin. So again, traditionally, all of this stuff will come with the glucose meter that you get to help you take your sugar for the first time. So now we're gonna get into order of operations. So you can do this in pretty much any order that you want to, but the way that I like to do it is I like to start by loading the pen. So the way this pen works is you can't pull it off from the top, like straight. You have to sort of bend it like that, and it comes off. So inside there's a little well, and that is where the Lancet is gonna go. So the Lancet has these little pieces, and you just pop it into the well of the pen. Next, you're going to spin this little plastic piece off the top of the Lancet. Spin, spin, spin. It's almost like a waxy plastic feel. And then you pop it directly off. So now you're left with an exposed needle. You should be able to see that. And we're gonna put the top back on the pen. Just be careful because now there is a needle in there. So once we put the top back on, there's a few adjustments we can make to the pen. So the way that mine works is this little top piece can spin, and you can have the needle go further into the skin or more shallow. Traditionally, if you're starting out, I recommend starting on about a 2. It's a little bit more than a 1, but not quite as harsh and fast as maybe like a 4 or a 5. So I start with a 2. And then the next piece you're gonna do is you're gonna pull this little lever down, and that loads the mechanism in the pen to make sure that that Lancet is ready to fire and give that quick little prick so that we can get the blood into the glucose monitor. So now our pen is prepped and ready to go, and we're gonna set it to the side. Next piece is you're going to take your test strip container. So when you pop the top off there, you'll see there's all these little test strips in there. You're gonna pull one out and immediately kind of close this back up so the other ones don't get contaminated. But you'll notice on the test strip, there is like a little computer chip looking piece. That is the side that goes into the actual glucose meter. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop it into the meter. And you'll notice as soon as you pop it in, it turns the meter on automatically and it's ready to read your blood sugar. So I'm gonna set this to the side as I now get my alcohol prep pad out of its container and ready to go on my finger. So I'm gonna wipe down my whole finger, but I really like to prick on the side of my finger here because it is less sensitive than if you were to just prick on the pad of the finger. So I'm gonna pull down and I'm going to hold this here. Now this little button is the one that actually releases the mechanism and pricks your finger. I'm gonna point it toward me just because it's a little bit easier. But 3, 2, 1, prick, and we are good. We've got some blood coming out. Hope you're not woozy. But now this little piece here is gonna act like a straw, and it's gonna pull all that blood into the meter. So now my meter is telling me, oops, you don't have enough blood. So I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit more out of my finger so that the rest of this strip can pull the rest of the blood in. Now, my meter is counting down, letting me know that it is reading and it's actively trying to figure out what I've got in my bloodstream. And my blood sugar right now is 107. So it will stay lit up until I pull the actual test strip out of the bottom. So I'm gonna pull it out of the bottom and it immediately turns off. Next thing I'm gonna do is I take the same alcohol prep pad I used before and I just put it back over that little spot that I just pricked on my finger. I haven't had to use Band-Aids before. Usually you don't have to do that, but if your finger prick for whatever reason is especially successful and you need a Band-Aid, feel free to grab one, but usually the blood stops in just a few seconds after you kind of just put some pressure on it. So that is how you successfully prick your finger and test your blood sugar with a glucose monitor. Now the next step is to disassemble the pen, get the needle contained so that you're ready to do this again the next time that you have to test your sugar. So now we are going to take the pen and we're gonna be careful because there is a needle in here now. And we're gonna do that same piece, pop it to the side so that that needle is now exposed. Now we're gonna use the cap that we spun off earlier and use that to get the needle out. Now the way that we do this, I put the hollow side down so that the flat side is on the top. And I'm just gonna poke this directly into the top right here. So now the needle is poking through the bottom, but you can't get stuck by it because it's kind of contained in the Lancet top. And that same mechanism that you used to prick yourself earlier up here, this is how we loaded it. This mechanism, this is how we're going to release the needle. You push up, and there's this little gray piece right here, and that allows us to pull this Lancet out nice and easy to dispose of it. So now I'm just gonna pop the top back on so that I am ready to go the next time I need to test my sugar. And I'm gonna pop it into this little container that came with the glucose meter. And I just keep that with me whenever I am out and about. So thank you so much for watching today. I really hope this helped you and I hope it eased any concerns you may have about using a glucose meter as you go on your own health journey and start to monitor your sugars, whether you have diabetes or whether you are just trying to make some healthy changes moving forward in your metabolism and your endocrinology system and all those things. I do hope this is helpful for you and that it's a little bit less intimidating now that you've kind of seen someone walk you through it end to end. Best of luck. Mwah. Stay well.